Raleigh, North Carolina is pure fun for jet setters.
That's right. This Southern gem is part of the Research Triangle, including Durham and Chapel Hill, with loads of high-tech jobs and lots of college town atmosphere.
We tailgated at an NC State football game, tasting some Southern grilled choices, guided by the Norse god Thor, played by our jet setter in residence, Raleigh Rick Meadows.
So what is Thor doing at an NC State game?
Well, it's homecoming, and I actually graduated from NC State many years ago before I turned superhero. So I'm back here for the home crowd.
Now, you don't need to be a war god to smite your appetite, because you will be smitten with Raleigh and its vast culinary experience.
Next, we went on tour, the Chef Ashley Christensen Tour. She was named the James Beard Top Chef Award for the Southeast.
First, we hit Fox Liquor Bar, and we had the Passion Fruit Mai Tai.
So this is a Passion Fruit Mai Tai. Traditional Mai Tai spec, you have like 1 ounce of rum, 3/4 ounce of orgeats, half ounce of curacao, and 1.5 ounces of 2 different types of rum. So
what were the other rums?
The other rums I used were Ray and Nephew white rum. It's overproof rum from Jamaica. It's got has a lot of banana flavor to it, but a lot of other citrusy, fruity flavors.
What's interesting is you put the ice in last.
Ice in last.
Why is that?
So for any drink on crushed ice, you're not gonna shake it. You have more surface area with crushed ice, so dilution's gonna happen a lot faster. So you wanna basically what you're trying to do is just control the dilution so you don't over dilute the drink.
Next, Ryan poured us a Hemingway daiquiri.
Hemingway was a diabetic, being a big drinker. It's not too much of a surprise. So he wanted to come up with a cocktail that had just a little bit of, not as much simple syrup in there. So what he did was he did 1 ounce of grapefruit, 1/2 ounce of lime, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, 1.5 ounces of white rum, and then he did 1/2 ounce of maraschino, which is maraschino liqueur.
After leaving Papa's Key West taste, we walked about 20 steps to the south again at Ashley's BEASLEY'S Chicken and Honey.
It looks like a 1950s cafe, but it ain't Mayberry.
The drinks were just as inventive. They're Moscow Mule without the copper cup.
So our Moscow Mule is a little different from a traditional Moscow Mule. Although it's not served in a copper mug, it comes in our mason jars along with all of our other drinks, and we actually, instead of using ginger beer, we use real ginger syrup that we fresh squeeze in-house. So it's got a real spicy ginger flavor to it that typically other mules lack.
And just as tasty and inventive was the BEASLEY'S Dark and Stormy with Gosling's rum and their own fresh-made jalapeno ginger syrup. What a combo.
And for eats, a Southern favorite turned gourmet. Chicken and waffles, the signature item.
People find it an odd pairing. However, when you think about it, sweet and salty pair very, very well with each other. And the crispness of the waffle, the moist chicken, you can eat it chicken separate, you can eat it with the waffle, there's no right or wrong way. The sweetness of the maple syrup and the honey that we drizzle on top, it's a spectacular dish. My preference is to do the work beforehand, get the meat off of the bone from the chicken, and then go to town, waffle and chicken at the same time with the syrup drizzled on all of it.
Next, we walked to Chuck's, another Ashley gem with a Southern cafe feel, to find a perfect burger.
And we found it with this dirty choice.
Yeah, y'all had the Dirty South, so that's just kind of a big honkin' chili cheeseburger, homemade slaw, homemade pork shoulder chili. Just the beef has its own story, so good. And if you're just in the mood for a hefty, big honkin' cheeseburger, rich, that's the one to get. It's all organic, grass-fed, Chuck, as is the name of the restaurant. And we patty the burgers ourselves. It's ground by us. And yeah, we get just fresh beef every day. And I think it's the best burger in Raleigh, personally.
Our embed waiter Jeff made us rave about the fried pickles.
Yeah, we make the pickles in-house. I will just often get a side of pickles just to kind of munch on. I didn't like pickles until I started working here. I don't know what it is that they do to them, but it's incredible.
Okay, so burger and fried pickles goes with?
Spiked milkshakes. We got down and dirty with the mudslide.
The MUDSLIDE? Yeah, that's our most popular milkshake. 0.75 ounces of Kahlua, 0.75 ounces of Bailey's, and it just all kind of comes together really well. I mean, there's nothing better than chocolate and just some nice like burnt coffee, and it's just, it blends together really well.
And there was no calories.
None at all. It actually has negative calories. It slims you down.
Now, there's more. We hit Poole's, one of Ashley's first establishments.
Again, this has a cafe feel with an inventive southern bar.
Now, we tried the Garden and Gun Club Bourbon Martini with Maker's Mark, Cointreau, and an ounce of dry vermouth, a unique twist.
I think it's a combination of the lemon and the bourbon and the vermouth. You don't pair bourbon with vermouth very often. That's
Sweet vermouth, right?
It's dry vermouth, but it does add it adds a little sweetness that's different from the Cointreau.
And whatever you do, get the mac and cheese. It was not what your mama gave you in kindergarten.
Just a blend of Cabot white cheddar with Grana Padano and aged Parmesan and a little Gruyere, and that is going to be mixed with the pasta, topped with a little more of the cheese, a little heavy cream, a little salt and pepper. Goes right under the broiler, and it comes out like this, and it's the best mac and cheese in the country, probably.
Sound like boasting? It ain't boasting if you can back it up.
Boneless beef short ribs pastrami style, and they tasted like pastrami.
Taking beef short ribs, they're brining them, rubbing them with a black pepper coriander crust, roasting them off, and then doing them served warm over a little crisp red cabbage slaw with wild ramp Russian dressing on the plate and some of the warm jus to pour over the ribs. So some of the flavors of a pastrami sandwich, but with boneless beef short ribs.
Then we moved on and dove into Death and Taxes, Ashley's signature restaurant.
The building was a former funeral home and a bank.
And you'll be dying for this food. You can take that to the bank at this wood-fired piece of heaven.
If death and taxes are inevitable, then have an orgasm.
Actually, it's a cocktail called La Petite Mort, the French description for sexual ecstasy, which apparently is vodka, tomato water, thyme, lemon, and dry vermouth.
For a post-climax app, try the roasted oysters. Real simple with preserved lemon and chili butter.
For an entree, get the bone-in ribeye. Notice the food was gone before the video could roll.
And for dessert, jump into the burnt maple flan with olive oil cake and black sesame pralines.
Now, luckily, with all the food, Raleigh is also a great town to walk in, but Lyft and Uber are plentiful.
Raleigh is a must, even if you're one of those smiting gods.
You can be in here.